Hi, everybody. I'm getting over a cold, so I apologize for my voice. Well, not apologizing, but just letting you know. Yeah, I haven't got a reflection in my glasses. I wonder if I can get, I don't know, whatever. Fine. You don't have to look at my eyes. Um, this is about a project, an idea that I had about in September. And I made a live for a live preview, live no premiere or whatever it was, and the internet dropped. I have brand new internet from Mint, home internet, but I guess the signal, the Wi-Fi isn't that strong enough for the streaming. So I'm doing this recorded as well in case that one drops out. So today it was at life insurance. I I'm an agent. I became an agent um because of my idea. I am not hired. I'm not an agent for anybody. I just am a registered agent in the state of Ohio for to sell life insurance. It means I had to study the course. I should know quite a bit. It's been like 6 to 8 months since so I'm kind of rusty, but the idea is essentially, I call it sliding schedule. I'm going to share my screen so I don't have to talk so much, and instead you can actually see some of the ideas. So here, there you are. You can see the spreadsheet. So we're going to start with the spreadsheet. Um, and so you'll see right away that the schedule, um, it's right now set to 29. It's interesting. Let me pull this one more. This should be 30 years. So generally in the industry, everyone knows that there's term and permanent or whole, and I'm not going to get into exactly the differences, but my idea was I remember how I had this idea. I was like driving home from work, going to the post office, and like some people have, weird shower thoughts. So I had this thought of I don't remember how I thought of it, but basically is was what's the term doing it at the end of a year in the end of your term, the last few years of your term, if the guy dies, then what you need that whole massive lump sum. What if we shaped it down as a term aged, and we sort of you budgeted per year how much you would need, and you sort of was that's decreasing term, that already exists in the market, but sliding schedule is where not just are you do you lower the amount, because you are saying that after the 30 years you're not going to need it, then also if it's a budget per year, that means that you don't need to get paid out the entire amount um, when the guy dies, because well, it's not just you don't need it, but um, it's a headache for the family to have to budget, to have to make sure that they don't spend all of it at once on different things. Yeah, things come up in necessities, but it's a hard thing to second guess yourself about, like, was I supposed to spend on that? Was it essential? Was it not essential? And you don't want the headache. I'm not arguing for a nest egg that you. I'm just saying that you rather have well, one of the arguments is you rather have someone else, you know, give you that money on. It's like an annuity, but it's not an annuity. It just the payout looks like an annuity. I should be very careful. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just telling you this idea that I had. It's not certified or regulated by the state. I just developed this idea. I read up on a lot of the laws and made this to fit, but I haven't ran it by a actuary. I read up a lot of actuarial science, so I was able to model it in Excel and with code to run to see whether a company would be solvent selling this product, so on and so forth. I did a lot of homework on this. This was months, but I'm just showing you. I wanted to tell you about the product itself, this idea, so that somebody somewhere might decide, hey, I want to make that happen, or I want to collaborate. Um, but this is one of many attempts to revive the idea. I put on the back burner since February. So yeah. So let me go back to the spreadsheet. So term is I call it is my product is closest to term because term is expires after the term expires, right? That's the name. But it's a schedule that only you budget before you buy the policy. You build your policies custom made to your life needs. You could have to forecast ahead. You could set this inflation number to 2%, and then you'll have this is not the this spreadsheet is not where you're going to make your to look. I'm just this is for purposes of a presentation. There is I have a website which I will show you very soon that you can get a quote. I mean, this is not live. Again, this is not actually available. I just built this website so that you can see what the product would look like and all of the different explanations and stuff, right? By the way, I did there's a Jewish legal stuff that they have to do. Then I made a website, which is technically an agency, and I am a registered agent, licensed agent. And I did assign myself to my company. So whatever. Yeah. And so I'm legal. I can't sell this product yet because the product isn't on the market, isn't even registered, certified, whatever. But this is legit, right? So back to spreadsheet. I'm trying to demonstrate this in some, don't worry about the rates. I'm trying to demonstrate what this looks like. What is the general idea of the product? So this schedule gives you just a sort of a visual of what I mean by a schedule. 30 years of your term, and you start out with the first year of 50,000, and then you want to grow by inflation, or you could design your own growth and you could call it whatever you want. You could make it decreasing. I'll show you on the website. You could do it. It's on a per beneficiary per year, per category. And you could edit and add and mix and match, and you could mess around with it. Like you could go crazy with it, right? But I don't want to confuse you. I just want to let you know that that's possible. So now let's go to the website to get more words, more vocabulary on what this product is, because um, I I feel like I'm explaining it, but I know from experience that people are kind of confused because insurance in the best of times is very confusing. It's just people don't like technical terms, mathy things. It's a no-go. So let me do my best to explain. This is sort of the advertising language, right? Don't pay for the same amount. Um, the coverage for the end of the term as you did at the beginning, like I said, and in term in a lot right in a standard term policy, you're paying the premium for the right to have this $1.5 million be shelled out whether the guy dies in the first year or in the last years. And if you're if you're making calculating that lump sum based off of your needs of your forecasted assumed needs, then you're lying to yourself. If you're saying, oh, in year two I need it because I want it to last for 2 years to extend 2 more years, then but your term expires, your term doesn't expire 2 years later. So if the guy dies, because if you're saying that after 20, 30 years, you don't need it anymore, then you're lying to yourself when you say that, oh, and after in 3 years, I need the same amount of money to last me 3 more years after that term, right? Meaning your schedule would go along with you, right? Anytime you die, you have the same amount of money to last you the same amount of time, which you don't need that because otherwise, if you needed that, then you should have made a longer term, right? It's an unending, it's a continuous, it's a feedback loop of it doesn't resolve because you're lying to yourself. Term insurance doesn't make sense if you're with a lump sum unless you're decreasing it. So that again, that's only what happened. All that happens is that it's a schedule. But since it's a schedule, I'll show you more in the buyer's guide script of how you help saves you more money. But let's finish this paragraph. So with Helen, coverage reflects what you actually need over time. As over time, your benefit could decrease as those periods of life are already expensed and paid for. You have a benefit builder you can customize per category per everything, and you can adjust it. As I said, we have a customizer. Let's see detailed explanation. So this is how does it work section is actually like my best concise explanation of what the product is itself. Because I'm usually talking about comparing it to others, and this is not like that because it's like this. So let's just say what does it do? That's the best way to explain it. Um, Joe insured dies in third year of a 20-year term with my product. Joe's family's benefit get the money in the third year bucket. They will not get year one or two. They sort of expire. The schedule slides. It compresses. The beginning of year four, if the guy died in year three, then after they get year three, for the remainder of year three, they'll get year four at the beginning of year four. They get the beginning of year five, they'll get the year five's money. Right? Simple. It's not complicated. All this comparison language makes it complicated. These these three, four sentences, they encapsulate the entire thing. That's it. Yeah, there's riders you could add on for final expenses for a wedding and this guaranteed purchase option for growing families. Yeah, that is we thought of that, but the essential product idea is this simple. It's really not complicated because and that's part of the point because why would you have that? Why would that amount of money continue on if you already decided that after the term you don't need it? You could say, "Oh, I really do need it, but the cost is too expensive because I'm aging, and because I'm aging, the risk is higher, so I'm sort of making a line in the sand." That's not a good argument because then, well, you want whole life insurance, but then you're still not decreasing amount. If you're decreasing whole life, that would look really weird. I mean, you could sell that also, but this is term because the term we're saying we're trying to cut out all the fat here because we're saying what use any argument we can to say how much how little can we charge you? How little do you need? What is it? What we're min-maxing insurance here. We're trying to make it as affordable as possible. Well, we're not trying to get away cheap here. We're not throwing away we want to give you the value, but it's just what is an add-on? What are they bundling in to sell you to make to get better commissions? Yes, a lot of these things are necessary. You want to have chronic illness coverage. You want to have insurance money available for hospice, right? There's different things you want to have, but pure life insurance risk coverage that actually makes sense, like in the budget, in the budget, like actually accounting. And if you actually count the beans, this is the most efficient. Um, so let's go back to the spreadsheet. Because now they understand the essential core concept. This is the essential core concept. Let's see in this still simple example, if we play around with the numbers, so you have this guy starts at age 25, he is 30 years, you could change it to 20 years. There's like if the guy is at 65 years old and it's we're gonna have the same limits as in like too old to insure. That's we don't have to reinvent the wheel of those issues of like the risk assessments of smoking and this, those are all going to be the same. I'm not going to innovate over there. I'm going to innovate in the core of the insurance structure, the payouts and the actuarial math, which I'm not going to get into because nobody wants to hear about that. So if it was a lump sum with 2% inflation, right, the number going up, then this is your lump sum payment. And that would cost a single premium or a level pay per year. Um, Forget about this load here for now. It's too complicated to get into for this video, for the purposes of this video. So with my plan, you're saving almost 50%. Um, and depending on exactly how this works, um, if you move around the terms and the parameters on the top, this savings amount changes. But single pay premium for a 30-year term, starting at your age 30, 2% inflation, with 50 per year, you're saving a lot of money. And the annual level pay per year, you're also saving a lot of money. This is my selling point. Like in the sticker price, right? My selling point in the core concept is found right over here. But I said I would show you the customizable scheduling. So let's go. Well, first let me show you. I have a bit of a selling a bit of a script here, but it's not that it's not complicated. It's just I kind of did my toe in different pools, like get the concept across to try to sell it. But this PDF that I have linked here is actually sort of argues it in the most clear fashion. Yeah, there's some redundancies in different in the paragraphs, but we're arguing that you already paid for those costs for those past risk periods. That's why you can decrease the term. And we hope that by the time you're 50 or 60, whoever's left in your household will be able to live off of your 401k or IRA and right. We don't want to gamble. We don't want to say that after 20 years, well, it's too expensive to pay for insurance. I hope that I'm not going to die then, but I want the same death benefit to start then. That makes no sense. Then because we're saying we're only going to shell out each year's amount on that year, we can charge you. We don't have to earmark that amount in year one. We don't have to if the guy dies in year one, we don't have to earmark year 10's money same amount. We can discount the interest or compounding growth of whatever we're investing in that. We can discount it by that amount. We can have to earmark less, which means we can charge you less for the risk, right? That's what this thing says. And then because it's cheaper, now you can buy more for less. You can inflate your budget a little bit to give you more breathing room, and then but and it will still be cheaper, right? Um, Now why would anybody sell it if it's so cheap? That is a sticking point. Believe me, that is because you're 50% cheaper, and that's where this adjusted load number, which I said we're not going to get into, this number is higher because the your base amount of what you're charging fees on is less. You have to inflate your percentage a little bit to give to pay for the administrative costs. It still costs the same amount of money to pay for your secretaries, for your actuary, for your legal, for your HR, right? All those things that actually do work in an insurance company need to run. So we have to pay for that. So if the total amount per person is lower, we need to raise that up a little bit. Now you're still getting the lion's share of the savings, but we still need to adjust the load. I guess you could think of it like this. If you're saving 50% of the money, that means going down by half. To get back from half to full, you need a double. That's sort of why it's going from 20% to 46%. That's essentially what we're doing here. It's not exactly in that order, but that's essentially what we're doing here. Okay. Again, it's like in the stock market. The stock market crashes by it goes down by 20%. You don't need to go by you need more than 20% growth to get back to get back to where you were. You need 25% to get back to where you were, essentially. That's going down by half, you need to double, right? Math. Um, okay. I want to show you my flyer a little bit. You can take a screenshot. I mean, this is me selling it, so I should sell it to you. But we already covered all of this basically. This is like the one shot of what this is. Um, X out of that. I have other items for marketing. Like I have a pitch deck for like investors and stuff. Let me actually, excuse me. Let me see if I can get you a preview. Yeah, I have like a whole fancy model for the company. I said I did all the homework. I had like a early design of vision of how the website would look. Um, yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. You basically you would rip the carpet out from under the entire industry. Term, I should specify term. The only thing stopping you is people's education and how much money the company has, basically, because you make so little per for policy, you basically it's a self-fulfilling or self it's a circular feedback loop. That's how companies work. In order to have money to in order to have money to backstop policies, you have to sell policies to make that money. So basically, they have to wait to make the money first, and then they can pad it, and then they can sell more, right? So you can grow it, but you can't go too fast. Because you go too fast, then you run out of cushion, right? That's essentially the only thing holding back. This is my little logo. I think basically it covers it. Um, this is the script that you would talk to an agent. Even now, when the product is not on the market, you could still take a look at this sort of. It's not so much a script, but it's more of an argument point sheet where you can say, if the agent tells you, "Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this?" Then you say, "Oh, why would I do that? If this makes more sense." Like you need to have some brain. You have to be pretty intelligent to like use this because you have to like know the subject matter. You have to become a such subject matter expert a little bit in order to act in your own interest. I mean, I'm not saying that all or many. I'm saying there's a reason why there's a stereotype that salespeople are aggressive or they're in their acting in their own interest. Legally, as a insurance agent, life or other insurances they have fiduciary duty to you, to the customer, and to the carrier and to their agency, but they still there's a conflict of interest because they want to make money and you only want X product. If they can talk you into buying other products that you need them, they can say, well, that was all is fair, and now they actually decided that they don't want it, but you brainwash them, right? So you have to have you have to be clear headed on what you need and what you want. And the main the one of the biggest things, if you can keep this in your head at all times, is this. They're gonna offer you your nest egg, you want to have money left over, you want to have retirement, you want to investment. A big piece of the permanent life insurance market is you have a cash value and you have guaranteed returns because it's always going to be 5%, no less, right? They're gonna sell you on that. So you have to know in your head, and it has to be true. You have to actually perform. Is you if you're making enough money to pay for insurance, you have to decide I can be efficient and keep my risk protection and my investment separate, right? I can I can cover my risk until my term. I can go 30 years, 40 years until I don't need it anymore. I don't know what that was. Hope I'm back. Um, and I can keep my investment. I can invest in the stock market. If it goes up and down, yeah, I have to worry about that. Or I can buy CDs, or I can put it in a high yield savings account. I can do whatever I want. I can build a business. I can buy a real estate, right? But why don't borrow from yourself? Do I talk about borrowing from yourself here? Um, I might have it in over here somewhere. I I don't know where it actually is, but I have a section where it says basically in the cash value, yeah, it's your money, but in order to take it, you have to borrow it. I mean, there may not be interest on it, but if you're borrowing, if I'm taking that money out and I haven't paid it back yet, then I have an investment, but I don't have life insurance because I'm gonna whatever the death benefit is going to be gonna get deducted by the amount that I took out until I pay back. If I In order to pay it back, I have to make enough money from the investment. And then after that is done, then I pay it back. And now I have life insurance. So you can't have both at the same time. You can't have an investment making money into your pocket at the same time as a life insurance policy. It doesn't work. You could have cash value, take a loan from it. Yeah, you could add on riders that things that will sort of multiply, that will make it, they'll give you the mirage. But then you're paying for that. So you're paying somewhere. There's no free lunches. So that's why you want to strip all the fat out, give each purpose its own vehicle, and keep it as simple as possible. and run your life responsibly. That is the goal of this whole idea. Whether I make this product on the market or not, or someone else does, I would like to make money, but I don't mind if this is not where I make my money in my life. I could get a job doing something else. I don't care. I just want this to be a thing because I'm not against corporations. I don't like inefficient, bloated markets that are useless. I don't like where I'm not giving commentary on capitalism, crony capitalism, or whether American economy is garbage. No, I believe in the American economy. I'm saying that this I can see in this industry that there's waste. You don't need this stuff. You bought it, you want it, that's fine. It's a free country, but you should have awareness. You should know that this is a better way of doing it.